We are now halfway through the Wawa Cup Series 2024 season, and what a season it has been up to this point. 13 different winners in 15 races so far, including Nicholas Samadio grabbing his first career Wawa Cup Series race victory last week at the North Wilkesboro Speedway in that exhilarating tire conservation race. Well, here tonight, it's the longest race of the season, all part of Indy 250 week and the last race before tomorrow's big Indianapolis 250. It's the Coca-Cola 600, 100 laps here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for 150 miles of pure, fast fun. It's going to be a great one here tonight as we begin the second half of the Wawa Cup Series season. Only 5 races remain until the chase cutoff. Who's going to get it done here tonight in the Coca-Cola 600? It's the 2024 Wawa Cup Series from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the 16th race of the season, the beginning of the second half of the season, and it is Indy 250 Eve. How about that? We got the big race tomorrow. Of course, we're all looking forward to that, but we're looking forward to this race as well. One of the crown jewel events here in the Wawa Cup Series, the second one of the season. LJ Cimetto won the Daytona 500 back in February, and he almost won this race a year ago, but the defending race winner is Blaine Keys, who has already won twice this season. We also have some pretty strong drivers starting up front in this race here tonight as well. Who knows how it's all going to go down? All I know, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're excited to have you on board here on this Friday night of Memorial Day weekend. Of course, a solemn weekend, remembering those who gave their lives for this country. We cannot thank all of those enough for what they did so that we can be here today to enjoy this great race. And of course, the same can be said for tomorrow's race as well, and the real-life editions of the Indianapolis 500 and Coke 600 coming up this Sunday. Nathan, it is such a huge weekend. We are so excited to be here. And hey, these guys are excited to be here as well, and a crown jewel race for these guys is at stake. What do you need to do to win here today at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, knowing how long this race is and knowing there are 2 pit stops here in this Coke 600?
Well, it's a lot easier said than done to win the Coca-Cola 600. A lot of drivers will just go into it and say, oh, I'm just going to stay up front, lead the majority of the race and get the win. But it's not that simple. This racetrack, first off, is wild. 2, sometimes 3 different groups are up for tabs here, and you can go everywhere here at Charlotte, and that's difficult enough, but you have to first off survive 100 laps, the longest race on the season, and the pit crew and yourself, you have to get down this tricky pit road without any issues, not once but twice. So it's a lot of things that go into it, and also you have to make sure that you don't have any mechanical issue as well, with this being the longest race of the season. It's not as easy as some people think with it being a mile and a half, but it's definitely a crown jewel here for the Wawa Cup Series. Everyone wants to win this one, and someone will get the second crown jewel race win on the season here tonight.
And who knows who it's going to be? Hey, it could be Philip Torres, who won the pole here for this Coke 600. How about that for a surprise pole sitter? And that's 3 poles in a row for Rut Racing. The only thing is Matthew Hubert did the opposite, as you see him starting 39th here tonight. Of course, Hubert won the pole the past 2 races and has had a couple of really good runs. Of course, he had that issue at North Wilkesboro and rebounded a little bit from it, but we'll have to see what he can do starting from 39th with his teammates starting on the pole position. But around Philip Torres, you have a lot of guys who are doing a really good job this season. Ladovic Stret won Kansas. He's starting on the outside pole. You got Trey Bartow and Rogel Dorn, who are both well up in the chase points, 2nd and 3rd, respectively. And then you got the defending champion, Drew Webb, who is in an interesting situation right now. 1 point behind the chase cutoff coming into this race. Only 5 races to go, and he's yet to go to victory lane this season. But this race could be one for Drew Webb. And you got Logan Williams, Braden Perez, Kirsten Bell, Bruno Diacomo, and Brian Webb starting in the top 10. And realistically, any of those 10 and beyond can win this race here tonight. 100 laps here around the Charlotte Motor Speedway and 2 pit stops. About a 36 to 38 lap fuel run. So it's at least going to be 2 pit stops here tonight. Could be more depending on when a caution might fly. And who knows how it's all going to shake up in that regard. But what a season it has been so far. Obviously, last week's race in North Wilkesboro, we're still reeling from that one. What a race it was for Nicholas Amedeo to get the job done over Bryce Egan in that Brant 400. And I tell you what, we may see something similar here tonight. Tire conservation is going to be key. Of course, the tire were not as significant, near as significant as it was in North Wilkesboro last week. But fuel mileage and pit strategy going to be a huge factor here in this race, especially considering how long this race is. And this race tends to have a lot of long green flag runs as well, so you have to have a good car, a good long run car, if you want to get this race victory. Here's how they line up in the points. You see the chase grid right there. 5 races until the cutoff. And Thomas Troxel, people are saying Thomas Troxel's fallen off. What are you talking about? He's got 97 points on the cutoff and 53 points on the field coming into this race. And even though his one and only win came at Talladega, he has by far been the most consistent driver all season long. But Trey Barcia has also been consistent, and we haven't seen him contend for many wins up to this point other than Rockingham, but there he is, second in points alongside Rogel-Dorn there. He's 44 points ahead of the cutoff, with Finn Rogel-Dorn 29 points ahead. So this chase bubble is really tight right now, with Blaine Keys 24 ahead, Nicholas Amedeo moving up to 5th in the point standings, 23 points ahead. Matt Tuck is 20 points ahead, Jack Haas 19 points ahead, and Brian Webb had a solid run last week. He's 12 points ahead, with Ludovic Stret and Daniel Paulus Jr. 4 and 1 point ahead respectively. Of course, Daniel had a great run last week at North Wilkesboro, and he's right now 1 point ahead of our defending champion, Drew Webb, who as of right now, if the regular season ended today, would not make the chase. That is how important that 1 point is coming into this race. And you got Angel Gutierrez, who has fallen off quite a bit in that 36 machine, 25 points behind. Braden Perez trying to rebound, 26 behind. Matthew Hubert as well, 29 points behind. And LJ Semedo, Kirsten Bell, you see them tied for that wild card right there, with Gutierrez 16 points ahead of that cutoff. Kirsten Bell has more wins than LJ Semedo, and in the interesting situation, you have a tie for that cutoff. The amount of wins is what breaks the tie. So that extra win that Kirsten has at Dover is helping her out in this moment. Then Avery Alford really needs to basically win the next 5 races if he's going to have a shot, as he's 74 points behind that wild card cutoff. Not looking too good for Alford, even though he has a pretty decent starting position here today. All right, Nathan, we're excited for this one. Obviously, we're excited for tomorrow's race as well, the Indianapolis 250. 11 of these drivers also going to be in the Indy 250, and there's a driver in real life also doing the double this year as well. But if one of these guys wins tonight, say a Nicholas Amedeo or a Logan Williams, who's been very hot over there in the IndyCar Series, Braden Perez, Avery Alford, they win here tonight, how much more special would it be to win than tomorrow doing both races on the same weekend?
Well, that would be not only special, but I believe it would be historic, because I don't know if anyone's ever done that before on the channel. But that would be incredible if one of these 11 drivers that are doing the Indy Charlotte double, if they can win both of those, that would be absolutely incredible. And it's a lot easier to get the job done here at Charlotte than at Indy, because obviously the lanes have played into effect here so far. There's no lanes in the IndyCar series, so it's definitely a lot harder to win at Indy than here at Charlotte. But it's hard in general, but that would be historic if someone can pull it off. But we just have to wait and see who wins tonight first, and then find out who wins tomorrow in the biggest race on the year.
It's going to be a lot of fun over the course of the next 24 hours, actually a little bit less than that, when we'll have the Indianapolis 250. But we're here tonight for the Coke 600. Let's go ahead, get these guys to roll off. We went through the top 10 there for you guys already. And it's Philip Torres who will be leading us off to the green flag in this 100-lap event. And Nathan, very strong field up front, but a lot of strong guys also midway through the pack as well. Who do you think is going to get the job done here tonight in this Coca-Cola 600?
Well, this is going to be a very tricky race to figure out who will get the job done, because honestly, the majority of the field can be up front at some point with this being a 100-lap race. But you know what, give me the guy that won last week. Same with Mr. Edge. I think once he got that first win here in the Wawa Cup Series, I think he might be able to flat a bunch of them off like what Webb did last year. And give me Sam Deal to go 2 in a row somehow here in the Wawa Cup Series.
He's thanking you for picking you because, you know what, you were very good at picking these drivers here on the channel. Forget which race it was recently that you picked the winner of the race, and I was James Richardson in the Hers elimination series.
Yeah.
And you know what? That was just a random pick, and you nailed it. I don't think it's as much of a random pick considering that Sam Medeo won last week. Obviously, we know he's a fast driver, but a lot of other fast drivers starting up front, including Ludovic Charette, Rogaldorn, Drew Webb. Watch out for those three in particular. They're really going to be strong here tonight. But how about Philip Torres? We haven't seen much of him up to this point in the season. A huge opportunity for him to get his first ever Wawa Cup Series win, and he's going to lead us to the green flag in the longest race of the season. Here we go. It's Memorial Day weekend. Indy 250 tomorrow. The Coca-Cola 600 right now. We're green flag racing at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Philip Torres is going to lead lap number 1 here in the Coca-Cola 600. Trey Bartow to the inside of Ludovic Charette for the second position, and there's Drew Webb in the 99 trying to follow suit as well. Now, we saw last night in the Sprint Series race course, that race was 50 laps long. We saw Leonard Gossamer lead nearly the first half of the event. We'll have to see if Philip Torres can get out ahead of these guys as they battle for second. But how about Charette in this outside lane trying to keep that second position away from Trey Bartow? And we got Drew Webb there in the 99, side by side with Rogaldorn, Braden Perez. They're all on each other for this top position here at Charlotte.
And this is something that you probably see a lot here tonight. The racing is going to be absolutely fantastic. Always seeing that second lane looking into perfection for Charette, trying to keep that second spot away, and we're going to see this all night long. When I say that this is one of the best racetracks on the calendar and one of the best ones on the house, I mean it. The inside lane works, the middle works, and sometimes that third lane can work. So it's a very multi-group racetrack, and we are seeing it right now. As look at what we're doing, looking at 3 right through the middle.
And how about the 74 Rogaldorn? You know, he had a very strong run in this race a year ago. As for the race lead, Trey Bartow, who won the Sprint Series race here last year in the next-gen car, goes to the inside of Philip Torres for the race lead, and he's going to lead lap number 4 right there. But just as I was about to say, Rogaldorn had a really good run in this race a year ago. Actually was in contention and could have won it if the caution did not come out when it did, and he was doing that for a team that, let's face it, wasn't doing their ratings last year. So, you know, Rogaldorn is going to be strong here tonight in this Coke 600, and here's your pick to win, Nicholas San Mateo. And just like you said, and I said the same thing when he got that win last week, once you get one, you start racking them all up. And now that he's finally got that win, that pressure is off. Here he is running top 5 in the Coke 600 as Jesse Turner in the 82, not Turner. And it looks like Fitzwater as well has had an issue. He's also a lap down in the 61, and looks like a couple of guys had issues there. Not entirely sure what went down, but Turner's coming back onto the racetrack as he and Fitzwater, 2 of the all-time winningest drivers on the channel, are going to go a lap down early on in this Coke 600. Trey Bartow leads. Drew Webb is second. Bruno Diacomo to the inside of Philip Torres, and he's got Nicholas San Mateo behind him there, battling for 4th.
Tough way for 2 of the all-time wins leaders on the channel. But how about Drew Webb all the way up to 2nd, just outside of the bubble, and he doesn't have a win yet this season, so he cannot fall back on that wild card. But he's all the way up to 2nd. If he gets the win tonight, he will probably get up into the top 10 points, but he will have that extra buffer of having that 1 win up the wild card spot. Follow and Webb are starting to pull away from the field as these guys are battling really hard from second on bat. With Bruno Diacomo, San Mateo as well, and I'm going to mention this one time and one time only. I normally get my picks right here on this channel, unlike everyone else. San Mateo, we'll see if he does a good one tonight. Right now he's having a good one so far. up to the 3rd spot in at number 59.
And now that they've gotten around Diacomo, I think San Mateo and Rogaldorn are going to start pulling away from these guys. Same with Braden Perez in that 23. Now, Braden's not had the best of seasons, but Team Williams actually comes into this race second in the owner's standing, so they still have had a solid year with Brian Webb and Braden Perez, even though they've yet to get a race victory, and Braden trying to get some momentum going for him right there. Kirsten Bell on Ladovic Charette, Matt Tuck in the top 10 as well, and Logan Williams was in the booth with us last night. And hey, you know what? Lots of times when Logan calls the sprint race, he wins the cup race in that week. As we go back up front to the race lead, they're closing in on Jesse Turner, who came down the pit lane earlier on. Trey Bartow going to get held up here by the 82 machine, and Drew Webb's right there as Rogaldorn goes for 3rd on Nicholas Samadeo. And how about Rogel in this race? I'd watch out for him. He may be the favorite to win this thing if he can get up front. Remember Atlanta, he had a dominating run in that race, whereas that got taken out after the caution and getting caught up in a wreck in that one. But like I said, considering his strength that he's had this season and in this race a year ago, and considering the fact he's with a much better team than he was a year ago, I'd watch out for Rogaldorn possibly getting this race victory here tonight. He couldn't get around San Mateo as Drew Webb's going to take the race lead away, our 3rd different leader of the night, and it's our defending champion of Drew Webb taking it away here on lap 11.
Oh, yeah, 3rd different leader, and we might have a 4th different leader, because here comes the same with Dio, and here comes Perez to the inside of Dorn. The top 5 all under a blanket, essentially here, all under a 2nd, and tires have not fallen off quite yet, and it's going to take a little bit for tires to fall off, but once they do that, we'll really play it into a factor. But here we go, how about a 4th different leader? Trying to go back to back in the Wawa Cup Series is Mr. Ajineko Samadeo, but how long will he keep it? As here comes Perez to the inside already in that number 23.
Yeah, San Mateo's got a quick car here tonight. And he didn't necessarily have the fastest car in the beginning of last week's race, but of the guys who came down the pit, under that last caution last week, he was definitely the fastest of them. He was the last guy off of those 4. And he passed all of those guys and then went all the way to the front of the field to win that race last week in North Wilkesboro. And now he's got some momentum. And this is a guy to watch out for now that he finally has a win in the Wawa Cup Series. They're battling there for 3rd. Great battle between Rogaldorn and Drew Webb right there for that position. Trey Bartow there in the 4th position. Matt Tuck's up to 6th. Good run for Matt Tuck here tonight. Bruno Diacomo, Kirsten Bell, Logan Williams, and I know you like to see that. Andrew Miller, top 10 right now in the 97 machine. What happened to Ladovic? Oh my goodness, he got held up by Jesse Turner. Oh boy, I didn't think that was going to happen. That 82 is a bit off the pace, but I didn't think he was that off the pace to the point where Ladovic would fall all the way back, and Ladovic's not going to be happy with Turner after this one as they continue to get around him. Oh no. And Ladovic's only 4 points ahead of the cutoff coming into the race. Now, he does have that win to kind of fall back on as a buffer in the wild card, but not exactly what you want as our 5th different leader of the night. Braden Perez looking to the inside of Nicholas Samadeo for the top position, but Samadeo trying to get that outside in the work. Perez did lead that lap, though, so officially 5 different leaders so far tonight here in this Coke 600. Here comes Matt Tuck looking for 5th on Trey Bartow.
I think...
Oh, he's going to turn Bartow! He got in the Bartow at least. Oh my goodness gracious, that was close.
Wow. First off, what a save. Second off, I think Turner in the 82 might have a cylinder down or something, because he's going a lot slower than I initially expected. And that has to be the
another
case.
guy who's held up behind him as well. That's not good for Troxel, our points leader.
And 3rd point I'm going to make, we are averaging 5, so far we've had 5 different lead changes. That's averaging 3 lead changes every 5 laps, or like something like that. So we are absolutely flying with these lead changes, and we might have one. So far, can you believe it's only lap 17 of one? This has been
we're just getting started here tonight, folks. This is going to be a good one, the way it's gone so far. Hey, we had a similar moment last night in the Sprint Series race when Zayden Davidson just drove it in on Dylan Matthews, and it was that same corner, and they almost wrecked, but they didn't. And unlike in that race, Matthews hit the wall. Bartow did not hit the wall. He was able to save it, but he's going to lose a lot of momentum right there down the 9th for Trey Bartow. And Bartow, you know, he's 44 points ahead of the cutoff. He wants to keep that momentum going into the chase. He does have the win to fall back on in the wild card, but I don't think he wants to fall back on the wild card because he's been top 5 in points nearly this entire season. I will say the one biggest surprise in this race really is Thomas Troxel. He got stuck behind Turner right there, and the fact that he's as deep as he is not working out too well for him right now in terms of points. Ladovic Strait as well also fell all the way back there to the 31st position. Oh, no! Bryce Egan, LJ Semedo around, and Troxel's going to get caught up in this one as well. I think, Andrew Miller in the 97 might have blown up. Oh, boy, our first caution of the night here in the Coke 600. Race back to the line, Nicolas Samadillo, Braden Perez. Looks like Samadillo is going to be the one to win the race back. Oh, boy, Nathan. You know, you are good at picking winners, but you're not good at having good luck for your team while you're in the booth. That's for sure.
Actually,
last week was good for you. Never mind.
Yeah,
last week was good for you. I forgot about that double top 10, but it ain't going to be a double top 10 for NS Racing here tonight. Andrew Miller out of the race there. LJ Semedo was a dominant guy in this race a year ago. Also caught up. Bryce Egan, man, had such a good run last week at North Wilkesboro. And Bryce is not going to get a good run here tonight in this Coke 600. All right, well, it's an opportunity for these guys to come down the pit lane. LJ Semedo trying to get back around here in the 71. Nicolas Samadillo going to lead him off, lead him down. Now, this is something to really keep in mind. Pit lane here is very, very tight, and they've got to be careful on the pit lane not to get into each other here, especially with everyone coming down right here. And I will say also from this point, it's still going to be a two-stop race for these guys. So even though they're coming down now, getting fuel and tires, they're going to have to do it 2 more times before the end of this race. And if it stays green to the end, that second stop's going to be right near the end of this race. It could get very, very interesting as we move along here in this Coke 600. Nicolas Samadillo, first one down the pit lane, and he is going to... he's going to be a little bit long on the pit stop there. Maybe doing a bit of an adjustment, maybe a long-term adjustment, but he is not going to win the race off. And Barto, just like I said, Barto got boxed in by Ladovic Charette right there, and that Ford machine is now losing ground, and this day has gone from bad to worse for Trey Barto. He's finally going to get out there, and where is he going? Where's bro going? He is mad. He is not happy with that 51, and the fact that the 51 got held up is why that all went down. All right, a bit of a shuffle up front. Braden Perez is now the race leader with Matt Tuck. Brady Mardi Gras is up to third. Drew Webb, Kirsten Bell, Nicolas Samadillo, Roberto Crown Jr., Thomas Troxel, as far as I know, is a lap down because of him getting involved in an accident. Then it's Philip Torres, Robledorn, Logan Williams, Blaine Keys in the top 10. Watch out for Blaine. And then Travis Crampton, I do believe, is in the 10th position. Good run for Travis, in lieu of what happened to Andrew Miller. Speaking of which, let's see what happened to Andrew Miller to bring out the first caution of the night here in the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. A huge wreck to the double dog leg on the front stretch here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Alright, this is a very extended accident. Andrew Miller actually gets up in the Bruno Giacomo right here into the corner. Just overdrove it right there. And that 97's off the pace because of it here. So that is... why Andrew Miller had a quote-unquote mechanical issue. And then coming back around here, he's off the pace significantly. LJ Semedo and Bryce Egan. And they're battling side by side. And Miller comes down on him right into Semedo. Cuts back down on Bryce Egan. And this 69 is going to take a hard lick to the outside. Well, that is not a good spot. Basically head on. Semedo catches some air. So does Andrew Miller. And that's a tough break for LJ. He's had a rough run since that Daytona 500 win. And he is going to fall further back in that wild card race as well because of this right here. And he was the guy who led the most laps in this race a year ago as well. So, tough break for LJ as Troxel, nowhere to go, just bumps right in the Egan there. And they go spinning around. Tough break for those guys. 4 cars involved in this accident, maybe 5 if you want to count Giacomo there. Not exactly what you guys wanted in NS Racing here tonight in the Coke 600.
Well, here we go, turns 3 and 4. We've seen this a couple times here in the past, and unfortunately Miller dived into Giacomo, and he was slow. Let everyone go on by on the inside lane, but then side by side for position between Semedo and Egan, and this is a huge hit for all 3 cars involved. 2 of them caught in the air. And then nowhere to go for Troxel for a tap right there. That shouldn't knock out Troxel out, but he's going to be suffering for the rest of the night. Several big hits involved for Semedo and Miller. and unfortunate cases of nowhere to go for Giacomo and Troxel. Tough one there early on, but it will be single deal as the race leader. First caution of the night. Hopefully that's the only one, but who knows, still 8 laps to go here in this one. Still a long way to go.
Very long way to go, no doubt about it. It's going to be fascinating to see who gets the job done, and who knows, it could be any of these guys at this point with 8 laps, and we're still going to have 2 more cycles of pit stops left to go as well, because they're not going to be able to make it on one stop from here. Let's go ahead and see how it all goes down on the restart. Braden Perez won the race off the pit lane. Let's see what he does here in the Coke 600 from Charlotte. We are back here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on a Friday night, the Friday night leading into the greatest weekend in motorsports, and of course Memorial Day, very solemn holiday remembering all of those who gave their lives for this country as well. Let's not forget that and the opportunities that they gave us to be here today. We're excited, though, for this weekend, especially in real life with Kyle Larson doing the double, and of course 11 of these guys doing the double, including the guy leading this race, and Braden Perez, who will be in the Indy 250 tomorrow. It'll be a huge deal for him in that 23 machine if he can get it done here tonight, especially considering he won 3 times last year and hasn't really sniffed the race victory yet this season. But he's 13th in points. He's right there knocking on the door, and a race win here tonight will definitely give him a huge opportunity. Matt Tuck, Brady Mardi Gras up the third. Great run for Brady in this one. He needs it. Drew Webb, Kirsten Bell, Nicholas Sambadio, Roberto Brown Jr., Pole Sitter, Philip Torres, Rogaldorn, and then Logan Williams. That's the top 10 with Blaine Keys, Travis Crampton, 11th and 12th right there. And then out of the race, LJ Semedo, Bryce Egan, and Andrew Miller. And then a lap down, of course, we already knew with Fitzwater. Thomas Troxel a lap down from that accident, and then Jesse Turner from his issue earlier on as well. Everybody else still on the lead lap is Mardi Gras right at the start of that restart. Dives right to the inside of Matt Tuck, and now he's going for the race lead. Oh my goodness, we haven't seen this all season out of him.
I was about to mention Brady Mardi Gras, my favorite name to say in the series. Got a great pit stop. And you know, that team is, one of the best teamers in the channel of Derek Hamill. And we always see one of his cars be up one always longs of a local dawn. Now a second car of Brady Mardi Gras, who desperately needs this one, is trying to get a 2-foot, but look at the 23. Doing a great job on the outside lane. I said that is a multi-good racetrack, and he's going to use that second lane out for turn 2 and keep the race lead for now for Mardi Gras. And how about another new player? Here comes Roberto Crown Jr. inside the top 3.
And how about another driver who needs a really good run? Roberto Crown Jr. has had an awful season, and I think they expected a bit better than what they're getting right now. Nicholas Sambadio is trying to peek down to that inside, but he's not getting anything at the moment, and we know that 59 is probably one of the fastest drivers on the racetrack, no doubt about it, but he's got to find the line. But Roberto Crown Jr. here in the 5 might have a shot at getting the Braden Perez here for this top position. We're just going to have to see Philip Torres rebounding in the 20 after he fell back. Mardi Gras going back there for second on Roberto. And don't look now, I honestly think Blaine might be the favorite to win this race. Him and Rogaldorn are 2 guys you really got to watch out for in the long run, because Blaine Keys obviously 2 weeks ago had a dominating car at Auto Club, whereas he also got the win at Texas. And you know what? Blaine won this race a year ago as well, and he knows how to get it done on these high-speed ovals, and we're going to have to see if that ends up working out for him as this race goes along. Rogaldorn trying to take third away from Roberto Crown Jr. as Mardi Gras trying to close in on Braden Perez for the top position. And how about the Hamill cars? Second and third right now. Of course, Rogel's had an excellent season. He's had a couple of moments where he's been taken out and arguably could be higher in the points, but he's still third in points coming into this race. But oh, here he comes. Cue the Jaws theme. Blaine Keys, defending Coke 600 winner, up to third now for Racing Motorsports and looking to take second away there from Brady Mardi Gras.
Blaine Keys has been strong so far this season, 4th in the point standings, defending Coke 600 winner. And you know, normally if you win a long race once, you normally have to whip him down and could be a really good shot at winning again. And he's trying to do that here tonight. But like you said, both Hamill cars inside the top 5. Right out the top 5. How about the poster back up front?
Oh boy.
As here we go, Dawn to the inside of Keys, side by side for second. Who can get to the inside of Perez? Have to wait and see. Not going to be Dawn As opposed to it's going to chop off that 74.
And that 74 is also really quick, and he might have the opportunity of getting this race lead from Braden Perez right here. And he will, diving to the inside in turn number 3, and Rogel Dorn going to be your new race leader here in the Coke 600. Of course, he led a little bit of this race last year, and now he's back out front in the longest race of the season. Philip Torres here in 5th. A great run for Philip, trying to hang on to that good run from starting on the pole. Roberto Crown Jr. is in 6th. Nicholas Sambadio is 7th. Matt Tuck, Kirsten Bell. And how about Laura Chung? You know, Laura's had a couple of solid runs as of late, and you know what? She might have another good run brewing for him. How about Dracoan Racing Enterprises? Both of their cars in the top 10 right now. As for second, here comes Blaine Keys. Perez getting shuffled out of line in dirty air. He's falling back as Rogel Dorn tries to pull away here from this field here on lap 32.
Yeah, you mentioned dirty air that might be affecting that 23, because when he was up front, he was really, really good. But now Dorn is starting to check out from the field. Down from second on back. But now, if Rogel Dorn wants to keep this race lead, he has to hang on and pull off a charge from the defending Coke 600 winner of Blaine Keys in the number 41. And now these two are starting to pull away as they are side by side from third on back. Might see some 3 wide. There's my 3 wide racing. I was mentioning that this track has 3 different lanes, but still side by side from third on back.
Yeah, and Braden Perez, I'm sure he's not too happy about getting held up by Torres and these guys. These are a lot of guys who haven't really run up front too much this season, who are in this top 5 right now. Now, keep in mind, they're doing a great job holding their ground, and Philip Torres trying to get back up there with Marty Gras and Roberto Crown Jr., but you can kind of tell these guys are maybe holding up the rest of this field here. Matt Tuck, Nicholas Sambadio. How about Matthew Hubert in the 0? Remember, he started in 39th for this race, and now here he is cracking on the top 10. And don't look now, here's also Travis Crampton, your driver. Of course, Sandra Miller also had his issue. Ludovic Charette trying to rebound after getting held up by Jesse Turner earlier on. And speaking of which, I do believe we're closing back in on that 82 machine. Oh boy, Jesse. Oh boy, Jesse. It's not the Jesse we used to know, that's for sure. Hopefully he can get back to his winning ways in the near future. It has not been a good season for Jesse at all in his return to Cup Series racing, and we're going to have to see how Rogel Dorn and Blaine Keys fare around him, especially these guys. This is going to really get interesting with these guys trying to get around Turner, because some guys might end up getting held up if they're still going double wide.
Yeah, they are still double wide back there. Here we go, Dorn and a little bit close right there, but Dorn's going to get by. Blaine Keys is going to get a bad situation here, catching up with Turner right in the middle of turns 1 and 2, but should be able to get by down the back without any issue, and there he goes. So the top 2 are perfectly fine with Turner, but now we have to worry about third on back potentially here. This could get sketchy with how many cars are in this pack right here.
Of course, they're trying to single file out. They're led by Philip Torres right here in this 20 machine, but they're going to hit the same situation that Blaine Keys did in that last lap. Get the Dracoan guy side by side with Roberto Crown Jr. and Laura Chung right there. Philip's going to get a move, and same with Brady Mardi Gras as well. That inside lane's going to get the advantage right here. Laura Chung, Nicholas Sambadio, Matthew Hubert should be at the advantage, and Braden Perez still stuck in that outside lane. Looks like he might get held up just a little bit right here. This could get a little interesting. Now, that 82 isn't too far off the pace. It's not like what we see at some of the super speedways, but then again, too, especially on the straightaways, that 82 is clearly a slow car, and Ludovic going to gain some momentum back from that. And I'm sure Braden Perez and Roberto Crown Jr. are fuming right now at that 82, and want him to get out of the way, no doubt about it. I guess we've just and then quite cracked the top 10. He's right now in 12. Daniel Paulus Jr. trying to pull away from Drew Webb for that cutoff, and right now he's in a good position to do so. These guys 3 wide here. They've got to be careful. Matt Tuck, Drew Webb, Travis Crampton, all getting held up by Turner here. They got nowhere to go. My goodness, and Turner has been a huge factor in this race so far, and I'm sure a lot of these guys are not happy about it. Roberto's going to finally put him 3 wide on the outside. Matt Tuck and Drew Webb are going to try to follow suit as well. And they're going to finally start to drive away from that 82 machine. Here comes our Sprint Series winner, Josh Petty, his first ever Cup Series start. Got the win on Thursday night, last night to be exact, and had a great race in that Carolina 300. Drew Webb, definitely the biggest loser of this one. And that 99, he's still stuck behind that 82 machine. Now, if we run into Turner again, it's probably not going to be as bad because they're going to be spread out a lot more. It's going to be a bit easier for these guys to make those moves around them. And, oh boy, just always get nervous when you get these lap cars. And I feel bad for guys like Drew Webb and Matt Tuck who deserve a much better run than that. Roberto Crown Jr. as well was up front. He's fallen back a lot as well. But some guys definitely gained an advantage. Now, Rogal Doran and Blaine Keys are out of here. And then 3.5 seconds, you got Philip Torres with Laura Chung. Matthew Hubert in the 0 up to the 6th position. You know what? This guy has speed, no doubt about it. And here he is, cracking the top 5 in the Coke 600 in that 0 machine. And you know what? We still got 2 cycles of pit stops left to go in this race as well. They're not going to be able to make it on one more stop from when they came down on lap 20. So, you know what? Matthew Hubert may very well be in a position to maybe get his first career win in the Wawa Cup Series. And he had a great run at Auto Club. Of course, started on pole in North Wilkesboro, was leading in that race before his tire issue that sent him to the back. Still rebounded all right in that one, but he comes into this race 29 points behind the cutoff. I know he wants to make the chase for Rut Racing, and you know what? He's going to be inching his way closer to Blaine Keys and Rogal Doran right here, and using the force on Laura Chung right there.
Tell you what, Matthew Hubert, he is on a rocket ship right now. So 39th, he got past Mike Wall on that second lane, had the momentum, he's going to get past the 55 of Laura Chung, now going to get to the inside of his teammate in the 20, just like that in a handful of laps, he's going to be third, and Matthew Hubert, he could get the first win in the Cup Series here tonight. We're not even halfway through this thing, and I will say that Hubert has had some good ones, but not gotten the finishes that he deserved in the JBL Cup Series. He definitely has gotten the finishes here in the Wawa Cup Series, and he has the speeds here tonight, up to third from 39th. But can he catch up with the top 2, though? That's the real question.
The thing is, for Rogal Doran and Blaine Keys, they essentially have this field on lock if this thing stays green. But that's a big if. Obviously, we saw that wreck occur. Mechanical issues could be an issue, and that's actually where a lot of cautions tend to happen. As someone blows an engine, there's nowhere for cars behind the go, and that's when the wreck occurs. And I think you guys already saw the replay there with Andrew Miller, but I think that's what happened with that 97, based on what it seemed like there. And Thomas Troxel was one of those guys who was unfortunately caught up in that accident. He's going to go 2 laps down now in the 62 machine. Not a good day for our points leader here in the Coke 600. Meanwhile, at the back of the field right there, it's Odskin who is a bit off the pace in the 73. Trey Bartos at the back of the field. Remember, he got boxed in by Ludovic Charette there on that pit stop, and he lost a ton of ground because of it. Drew Webb's trying to rebound in this 99. He is currently in the 26th position. Matt Tuck, on the other hand, has done a much better job in rebounding. He is up to the 18th position, so a little bit better for him right there. Hey, Ace Garcia with a solid run tonight, up to 14th. You know, after he finally got that top 10 in Auto Club, he has definitely found a bit more speed, I feel like, in that 44 machine. Finally got his first top 10 of the season. He's doing better than his teammate right now. At least Angel Gutierrez in the 36 machine. Not too far behind him right there in the 21st position behind Justin Zeidel right there. Of course, these are 2 guys doing the double. Of course, Angel Gutierrez won the Indy 250 last year. And I know he'd love to get the win tonight, but I'm sure he'd love to go back-to-back in the Indy 250 and join Nicholas Sanvideo as the only 2 multi-time Indy 250 champions tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be interesting to see if that ends up being the case. Meanwhile, look at this battle here for third. You know, you got Rogal Doran out front, you got Blaine Keys in second, and you got these guys definitely going all over the place for the 3rd position. And Laura Chung in that 55 definitely has a strong car. Now, I feel like Ludovic and Sam Video and maybe Daniel Paulus Jr. have some of the faster cars in this pack right here. You know, Chase Buck also with a solid run tonight. You know, it's not been a good season for Chase Buck at all here in the Wawa Cup Series, at least in comparison to last year. But here he is, running 12th right now behind Braden Perez and Kirsten Bell right there as well. And all these guys right on for 3rd there with Laura Chung, but they are 5 seconds off the race lead at this point. And at this point, I would argue it's going to take a caution if any of them are going to have a chance at winning this race. And even that may even be the case for Blaine Keys at this point. He's 2 seconds behind Rogal Doran right now as Rogal continues to pull away. It's looking a lot like Atlanta for him right now, and remember what happened on that race.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, but we still have 2 pit stops, we think, and it might be looking good for Rogal Doran, but newsflash, we only halfway through.
Not even.
Coca-Cola 600, not even
halfway when we cross the line next time.
So, was still a long, long way to go. Things can happen. I don't want to say things can happen, but things can happen. If stuff will happen, it will be in this race, and who knows what will happen in the final 50 laps, halfway through this time by. Want to point out for Thomas Russell, not a good night, but luckily for him, he's not going to lose the point lead. He has a 53-point lead over the second. So
and the guy who's right behind him is Trey Bartow, and Trey Bartow's not having a good night either, so
still don't leave us
consolation for him there. Ladovic and Samadeo getting held up by him right there. And as 3 championship contenders right there, I'm sure they're not happy with that 62 machine. Ladovic's going to get around him right there. Samadeo's going to try to find some lane to the inside. You know, when Samadeo got in dirty air, he really did not have the speed that he showed at the beginning of this race, and he's starting to lose some more ground. It's his teammate Logan Williams starting to move up through the field in the 95 machine as well. So 2.81 seconds now. He is continuing to just log laps and pull ahead of this 41 of Blaine Keys. But we do, in fact, still have 2 more stops for all these guys in this race, and it's going to be fascinating to see how they end up going down. And that next stop is going to be very soon for these guys, and they got to be careful not to wreck coming down the pit lane. A very treacherous pit lane to get down. Now, if they stay single file like this, they should be able to keep it clean. But if something happens when that cycle is going on, that could shake the field up a little bit. We still have the wave around, of course, so no one's going to get caught on the tail end. But still, you don't want to get caught a lap down, which is possible if you're one of the first guys to come down and someone has lapped the field, which is very possible. So we'll have to see how this cycle of pit stops ends up going down. Third place changing hands, Matthew Hubert on Laura Chung. I'm impressed with all 3 of these guys, and especially Brady Martycroft. He has not had the best of seasons here in the Wawa Cup Series, at least as of late. He started off really well, but past few races he has just dropped like a rock in the points, all the way down to 20th now. But here he is 5th right now. Bernardo de Oliveira all of a sudden is in 6th. Where does this 57 come from? He's got a fast car here tonight, getting around all these guys. Brain Perez, Kirsten Bella right there as well. Philip Torrey still in the top 10. Chase Buck in the top 10 there for Pacific Racing. He's the highest runner for that team right now. Daniel Paulus Jr. on the outside lane trying to get a move made on him. Ladovic Stret right here as well, trying to get his 2nd win of the season. Trying to pull away in that chase bubble. Of course, he's only 4 points ahead of Drew Webb coming into this one. He wants to be a bit further ahead. And speaking of Drew Webb, he is starting to close in a little bit further through the field here. 21st right now for the 99 after running up front earlier on. Getting stuck behind Turner did not work out well for him at all. As here we go, cycle's beginning. We got guys on that outside lane. They're trying to give way to those who are coming down. Blaine Keys is down the pit lane. And Blaine Keys is trying to gain something on Rogel Dorn right here by coming in before him. That 74 still out there, 6-second lead right now for Rogel. Here's Blaine Keys, going to be a 4-tire stop for him. And at the moment, we got 43 laps to go. They are not going to be able to make it, and that last stop's going to be right near the end of the race if this thing stays green. And oh my goodness, if it stays green, it's going to be fascinating to see how it all ends up going down. We'll see how well this 41 of Blaine Keys can do getting off the pit lane. Nobody in front of him either. That's good news for Blaine Keys, trying to gain some advantage on Rogel Dorn. Rest of the field coming down right here. Daniel Paulus Jr. a little wide coming down the pit lane. And Rogel's got to be careful here in the 74 as well. He might be boxed in by Bartow. This could be very interesting. A little bit of a tap there from Drew Webb in the 99. Don't know if that's going to give Rogel Dorn any significant damage. Hopefully Bartow will get out of his way. That was tight there with Ladovic Charette. Those two have already had a run-in on pit lane. And how well will Rogel Dorn get out in relation to the 41 of Blaine Keys? That's the big question. Let's see where this 41 is right now. If we can find him. We got all these guys still on the pit lane right here. There's Rogel Dorn coming off the pit lane right here. And where is Blaine Keys at? Where's their boy? Where's their boy Blaine? There's Matthew Hubert. There's Blaine Keys. Kind of hard to find them sometimes when they're coming off the pit lane like that. Oh boy.
Woo.
Brian Webb going to go a lap down, I believe. Or actually, has he come down the pit lane already? He may have been one of the first ones to come down, because I think Brian Webb is, in fact, battling. No. Oh, he's got him lapped.
No.
He's got him lapped right now. He's yet to come down the pit lane. Fascinating here. Same with Logan Williams in the 95. Logan's finally coming off. I'm wondering if Brian Webb had already come down the pit lane, possibly. Either that or he's just yet to make his stop. A long extended stop for Brian Webb, who's trying to save the fuel here on this 13 machine. He's coming down now. So that'll do it. So Brian Webb going to get a bonus point there, which he could definitely use in that chase bubble. but that will concede to Rogaldorn next time around. Blaine Keys trying to close in, and that 41 is significantly closer to that 74.
Oh, yeah.
And Rogel's going to close back in on Turner here, so Blaine's going to maybe gain a bit more ground on his rival for this race lead. Brian Webb still on the pit lane right there, getting tires, and Rogaldorn will come around and take the race lead away here on lap number 60. Blaine Keys getting around Jesse Turner right there. And the next time by, we will officially have things cycled through after that cycle of pit stops, but it's still going to be one more cycle to go. And you know what? I'm wondering if Brian Webb is trying to stretch it. I'm wondering if that's what he's doing in that 13. Maybe try to stretch it and make it to the end from here. That could be his strategy. Team Williams there, Andrew Williams, the team owner, maybe playing a little bit of strategy with Brian Webb to maybe get him a race victory here tonight in this Coke 600. That is possible. That is possible. That could be what's happening right there. Regardless of the fact, Rogaldorn's got a second lead on Blaine Keys. 4.5 seconds is Laura Chung and Matthew Hubert. Then you got Bernardo de Oliveira there in 5th. Chase Buck is 6th. Travis Crampton, Brady Mardigras, Daniel Paulus Jr., and Philip Torres. You know, the guys who have had good runs here tonight, or should I say good runs this season, like Samadeo, like Charette, like Drew Webb, they've struggled here tonight in this Coke 600, and no fault of their own either, I don't think. Just the way it's worked out for him. Braden Perez as well also fell back in that 23 machine. And wouldn't you know it, how about this Grattan Autosports hot seat? Josh Petty now moving his way into the top 15. He won last night in the Carolina 300, and here he is, his first ever Cup Series start in the Coke 600. Battling with the likes of Logan Williams, Nicholas Samadeo, Ladovic Charette, Justin Zeidel. I'm telling you, that 11 is a car you want to be in. And hey, if you win the race, that's the car you end up in with Grattan Autosport being top of the owner's standings right now. But up front, it's pretty calm with Rogaldorn and Blaine Keys.
Oh yeah, a great one so far for Josh Petty. And I would like to say this. How about that 41 of Blaine Keys? I believe he did the undercut, and it was almost 4 second lead. It's only 1 second lead, so that did work out for that 41 machine. But he cannot lose a lot of ground on the short one, because I think, along with Rogaldorn, I think a bunch of cars might have a better long run car than Blaine Keys right now. So maybe they made some adjustments, but in that first one, Dorn got better every single lap that went on by. So if that ends up happening again, this could be lights out, and this could be a lap on the field. But right now, it's still only a second. And like you mentioned, there's some new draws up front, like Bernardo de Oliveira. And, okay, I'm going to be a little bit biased. How about Crampton inside the top 5 now? He was like 18th before pit stops, and now he's in 5th. Yeah. How about that? Finally a good one, stretch of races for that night.
You better knock on your wood so hard you knock the door down after saying that.
Oh,
I tell you, it's been, I mean, you just remember Coda. You mentioned Coda. He was leading on the white flag and blue attire. And that actually gave way to Rogaldorn winning the race. And guess who's leading right now? Rogaldorn looking for his second win of the season there at Hamlin Racing Enterprises. His third Cup Series win if he can get it. And you know what? Rogel's definitely one of these guys who is definitely a top contender for the title. The way he's been running. And you know what? A good opportunity for him here in this Coke 600 to get it done in one of the Crown Jewel events. But Blaine Keys, he won this race a year ago. I know he wants to get it again. But how about guys like Laura Chung and Matthew Hubert, both going for their first ever Wawa Cup Series race victories? You know, Laura Chung, when she came onto the channel in 22, in the Turkey Hill Truck Series, won 4 races in that battle with Sebastian Kukulon for that championship. And that was a rating series, of course. They didn't do the weekly ratings then, but she was really strong. And since then, she really has not had much strength on the channel. Now, granted, she was with Everbell Motorsports last year. Not going to get much to go your way if you're with that team. But better team this year. She's definitely had some better results. She comes into this race 17th in points. And you know what? She's going to move up higher in the points and actually have a chance of making the chase after these next 4 races, if she can hold on to this run. It's a big if, of course. Still got a long ways left to go here in this Coke 600. 32 laps and a pit stop still left to go for these guys. And, oh boy, this 98 machine. This could get interesting. If Crampton can really pull enough speed before they come down the cycle, he could jump them. He could jump them and maybe steal this one. That's a big if. He's 7 seconds behind right now. But the way this 98's running, he could have an opportunity at possibly doing that. He got around Mardi Gras, looking to get around Hubert, having a bit of struggle right now with that 0 machine. Yeah, I thought the 98 may have been bit faster as he was just driving right around Hubert in that moment. De Oliveira in the 7th position. Great run for Bernardo. Chase Buck, great run for Daniel Paulus Jr. This is a run that he needed, especially with guys like Ladovic, Drew Webb behind him. Of course, Angel Gutierrez in the top 10 as well. He's having a solid run tonight, trying to rebound. Drew Webb also moving up, though. He's just outside the top 10. Kirsten Bell, Josh Petty, Nicholas Samedillo, Ladovic, Charette, Logan Williams, all in the battle right there. And then it's Justin Zidell, Ace Garcia, Avery Alford, Matt Tuck, Jack Haas. And just around the 20th position right there. Braden Perez in the 22nd position. Tanner Parton. 50 machine of Michael Lewis this week. Roberto Cano Jr., of course, he got held up by lap car there earlier on of Jesse Turner. That really sent him back. Brad Stover there. 00 of Leonard Kochmer. Brian Webb. Now, watch out for Brian Webb. Like I said, he may just be able to make it to the end of this race on fuel. It's a big if he can do it, but he stretched it all the way to lap 60 before he came down. If he could do that again, he might be able to stretch it and win this race. We're going to have to see if that works out for Brian Webb. Sam Oskin, he knows a bit of strategy in winning races. Bruno Diacomo, oh, what a shame for Diacomo. Only going to be in this one. Failed to qualify for the Indy 250. He was in the Freedom 50 earlier today. Not sure how that race went for him, but that's 2 years in a row for Diacomo, missing the Indy 250, and another struggle for him. It's not been good for Diacomo as of late. There's Seth Cole. Zachary Fitzwater's a lap down. 31 machine there, battling with Trey Bartow. That is Zane Davidson, who had a wild night last night in the Sprint Series race, and then Trey Bartow, after getting boxed in there by Ladovic Charette, has fallen off down to 33rd. Those are the only drivers on the lead lap, and something happened to Daniel Paulus. Actually, he's a lap down. Daniel Paulus Jr. is a lap down right now. He may have actually got caught a lap down. Now, he was running top 10, and you know what? He's not. He's a lap down right now. That's a tough break for Daniel. I thought he was in the top 10 right there. He is not. And, oh boy, he's going to end up falling back. Drew Webb's going to surpass him there in that regard as they get around Turner again. And guess what? Travis Crampton has taken 4th away. Laura Chung pulling away in the 55 machine. But Rogel Dorn really pulling away in the 74 machine. She's got 2.5 seconds there on Blaine Keys.
This is looking a lot like that one before pit stops, where every lap, Dorn would just go a little bit faster, a little bit faster, a little bit faster. That car is a long-run car here tonight, and he is pulling away significantly over Blaine Keys. Might have to watch out for some lap traffic, though, up ahead. That could slow him down a little bit, but if this thing stays green, not only will we have to worry about the final pit stop and potentially strategy, but we might see Rogel Dorn just check out and easily win here in the 600-mile race.
And you know what? He's allowed to do that if he wants to. It would be nice. I mean, I honestly hope nothing happens to him, and he actually just does pull away with this one. Based on the craziness that we have seen this season here in the Wawa Cup Series, it'd be great to see a race actually just play out normally. And you got a guy who kind of just checks out, and that's just the way it goes. And Rogel Dorn absolutely deserves it. This is a driver in a team who I knew going into the season would probably be a top contender. Obviously, Rogel outperformed that one machine last year. And, once again, he is definitely proving why he's in with Hamel Racing Enterprises. Of course, the winningest owner on the channel. And right now he's got 2.5 seconds on Blaine Keys, who won this race a year ago. And we all know how fast Blaine Keys is this season in that Racing Motorsports machine. Got to give a huge shout-out to Laura Chung, holding on to this third-place run. And, if she can get this, like I said, she's going to gain some ground on some guys ahead of her right there and could very well find herself in a position to make the chase, which would be awesome for this team at Dracoan Racing Enterprises. Her teammate Roberto has not had the best of runs this season, but I'm sure that Owen is loving what he's seeing out of Laura Chung this season. Travis Crampton there in 4th. Brady Mardi Gras still holding on to a top 5. How about Hamel Racing Enterprises? The double top 5 going on right now. This is the kind of race I would expect guys like Ladovic Charette, Matt Tuck, Nicholas Samedillo to actually run up front, and we did see that, but they've fallen off in this one. Now, one guy who isn't falling off is Drew Webb. He's up to the 8th position right now and looking to get a solid run out of all this. Ladovic Charette just took 10th away from Philip Torres, and you got Samedillo and Logan Williams just outside the top 10 right there. But, generally, other than, I'm not surprised to see Rogel Dorn and Blaine Keys in the positions they're in, but, a lot of pleasant surprises. in that top 10, like Laura Chung, like Travis Scranton, Brady Martigrup, Bernardo de Oliveira. They've had pretty solid runs here in this race so far tonight, and hopefully they can capitalize on it and close it out here with 21 laps to go in the Coke 600. Here for Rogel and Hamill Racing Enterprises, but like I said, the big thing is these guys, Rogel and Blaine Keys, will absolutely have to come down the pit lane again before this race is done. Like I said, I think the big wild card really is Brian Webb in that 13. He stretched it 40 laps somehow, and if he can do it again, he could have a chance. There could be a chance. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's going to be pretty normal unless that 13 can pull a rabbit out of his hat and stretch it. We've seen it before in real life. Austin Dillon, I believe, won a close 600 on free mileage. Maybe Brian Webb can do the same thing, but Jaleel Webb having a fantastic rebound after getting held up by a lap car early on. And you mentioned a lot of good ones needed by drivers like Chun, Webb, Crampton, and Dorn. But I have to give a massive, well, not really massive, but I have to feel really, really bad for the driver that was up front early on, and that's Trey Barlow. He was up front early on in the number 4, had that pit roll issue, and now he's a lap down here at Charlotte. Definitely was someone that was looking really strong who could have won this thing early on.
He absolutely could have. Rogel Dorn's having some trouble getting around Zayden Davidson right here, and after what we saw Zayden Davidson do last night to Dylan Matthews, no surprise to see him hold up to 74. Got our own version of Ross Chastain out here with Zayden Davidson, I'll tell you what. And you know what? This is bringing Blaine Keys in. It was a 2.5 second lead. Now it's almost 1.5 seconds, and Rogel cannot be happy with this 31 right now. Been unable to get around him now. Zayden Davidson, he's trying to stay on the lead lap right here. If a caution comes out, he wants to remain on the lead lap. And, he has every right to do that as a car who is still on the lead lap, racing to stay on the lead lap. But I'm telling you what right now, that 41 has really closed in, and Rogel can still not get around this 31 machine. And you know what? Before you know it, Blaine Keys is going to be there because that 41 is closing in quick, 1.18 seconds now. And with the cycle of pit stops, you know what Blaine did. He closed in 3 seconds. If he does that again, he could easily win the race. Barter's going to try to pass Rogel here. That 74 has not made the move on the 31 machine. They're going to remain in that single file line, but Blaine's coming in that 41 machine, trying to close in on this race lead late in the going here in this Coke 600. I think Rogel's going to finally do it here on Zayden Davidson. No, he isn't.
Oh my goodness. Not only is this helping Dorn and helping Blaine Keys, but in turn, by a little bit, this is helping drivers like Laura Chun, Travis Crampton,
98, 99 down the pit lane.
Oh, here we go.
They're coming down early here.
They know that they can't make it. And
you know what? This might be a little bit of a strategy play. Come in, get those fresh tires, maybe overcut these guys. Blaine Keys is also going to try to do the same. Rogel still out there, so this is going to be interesting. So they're coming out a lot earlier right here than I anticipated. Only about 25 laps in the row. Oh, no! Crampton with heavy damage there as Zayden Davidson got into him. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how that affects him. Drew Webb there in the 99 machine. He's going to be the first one off of those guys. Crampton's going to lose some time there. Blaine Keys in the 41. Oh, he's got to be careful. He's boxed in there with Alfred right in front of him. Like I said, this is such a tight pit lane here around the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Blaine Keys, a little bit of a hold-up right there. We'll have to see. He had closed in quite a bit, though, on Rogel, so that's going to be the huge factor. Will he be able to jump this 74 on this cycle? And Bartow again held up by that 51 Ladovic Charette. That's going to end Bartow's day. Oh my goodness, if you're Trey Bartow. Going to follow with Rogel right here. Going to be a 4-tire stop for him. Now, here's the other big factor. Brian Webb's going to stay out there. Will he try to stretch it all the way? I'm very intrigued to see what Brian Webb does because he's going to be your race leader. Let's see where this 41 is of Blaine Keys. Oh, he's a little ways behind right here in this 41. And that 74 is just getting off. Of course, they keep it pretty slow through the apron right there. We'll see where this 41 ends up falling in line. This could be a bit tight. Blaine's coming. He's up to speed. And Rogel going to be... He's still getting up to speed in that 74 machine. This is going to be close. Blaine's going to be there. Blaine's going to have a chance.
Have a shot. He's going to have a shot. It's going to be about what it was before, maybe 1.5 seconds between the two.
Now, I think Brian Webb is, in fact, still out there as the race leader.
He's gonna try something here.
And we're just going to have to see. You know, and if a caution comes out right now, that really plays in the favor of Brian Webb. Or does it? I don't know if it will or not. I'm trying to find him. He actually may have just come down the pit lane. I don't think they're going to try to stretch it. Because I think I saw that 13 down the pit lane right there. No, that's Troxel. Why can't I find him? There he is. Yep, he already came down. He already came down. So that'll do it there for Brian Webb. So that strategy isn't going to work out. You know, they came down a lot sooner than I anticipated with that. Now, not necessarily a bad thing right there. But you know what? They're good to go from here on out. Rogaldorn with Bruno Diacomo, and guess who? He couldn't get away from Zayden Davidson right there. And you know what? Zayden Davidson, I think he's still on the lead lap. He is, so he's going to really make it hard here for that 74 Rogaldorn. And Blaine Keys might have a shot. He might have a shot at finding a way around the 74 if these guys hold him up enough, but Rogaldorn pulled away there from that 41 that last lap, and that 74 is just on rails right now. He's gonna finally make the pass on Davidson.
This is what he needs to do. He needs to just get past all these lap cars. That 74 has been a rocket ship all night, and the only problem has been these lap cars. And the thing is, these lap cars, they don't have damage as far as we know, so they're not gonna be easy to get around. And that was the case the last one, but not this time for Dorn. And now he's going to have a 1.5 second lead. Keys is going to have to get past these 2 lap cars if he wants a shot. But we are running out of time here at Charlotte. 10 laps to go now, and this is looking really, really good for local Dorn to win. Close 600 and barely hang on and get the win over last year's winner of Blaine Keys, but we still have 9 laps to go. That's a lot of time.
You know who finished 1-2 in this race a year ago? Blaine Keys and Rogaldorn. And they have clearly been the class of the field here tonight. No doubt about it. 3rd place after that cycle, still Laura Chung. You got to hand it to her. How about Drew Webb, though? On that Drew Webb arc tonight. May not get the win, but he's going to surpass quite a few guys in that chase bubble. That's for sure. And how about Josh Petty? Can you believe this?
Great one from
Grattan Autosport puts more into their hot seat car than they do their full-time rides. I don't know what's going on over there at that organization, but Josh Petty has just driven up to the 6th position in the Coke 600. Brady Mardi Gras, Travis Crampton still top 10. Nicholas Samadio is 9th, and then it's Matthew Hubert in the top 10 right there as well. Of course, Paulus is a lap down. Multiple laps, actually just 1 lap down in 32nd right now. And we're just going to have to see. Rogaldorn's going to close in on Turner, Seth Cole, Zachary Fitzwater again. We'll have to see if Blaine Keys can get around Zayden Davidson right here, but it's almost 2 seconds now, and that 74 is just unstoppable so far here tonight in this Coke 600. And what a dominating performance out of Rogaldorn here tonight.
Absolutely dominating. This is kind of like Kyle Wilson and MTJ levels of past 600 dominance from Rogaldorn here tonight. Great one from Josh Petty again. I think last week at No Full Spill we saw a Sprint Series driver get a good one, and that has happened again. Blaine Keys is going to get past 31 with ease, but it's looking really, really good for that number 41. Not 41. 74 to win, and it's looking really good for Blaine Keys to get 2nd here tonight. 5 laps to go at the line, and as long as nothing crazy happens, Dorn is on cruise control here at Charlotte.
He absolutely is. 5 to go, point of no return. That's an important part to the puzzle as well. This race ended under caution last year, and we're at the point of this race now where if we do get a caution, that would in fact end the race. Rogel's got to get around Seth Cole and Zachary Fitzwater right here. And he's almost putting Seth Cole into the outside wall. He's not getting stuck behind a lap car this time. And Blaine just didn't have the speed to that 74. It just didn't quite have it tonight, and I think that was just the big difference. And you see the difference in the times right there between everyone. Now 2.5 seconds for Rogaldorn on Blaine Keys. Uh-oh. But now Zachary Fitzwater holding up the 74 machine. Will Rogel make a move here? Yes, he will. If he's got enough speed there down the backstretch, which he does not. Oh, he does. He's got it. He's got it. Sam Alskin next in line to be lapped by the 74 Rogaldorn. Blaine Keys just didn't quite have enough in that 41 machine here in this one. But Lord Chong's going to get 3rd after all this. I'm assuming everything stays the way it does for these last 3 laps. How about Drew Webb and Bernardi Oliveira going after it for fourth, and Josh Petty closing in. San Mateo with a strong run late in the going here. He's going to get a top 10 after winning last week. And it looks like it might be 2 top 10s in a row for Travis Crampton, the way things are looking like right now. 2 laps to go here at Charlotte for Rogel Dorn and Hamill Racing Enterprises. Rogel looking for his second win of the season. He won COTA. And now he's going to get the longest race of the season here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
And looks like that will be the case for that number 74. Great one for Travis Crampton to gain what looks like to be 2 top 10s in a row finally. Some good luck on our side, but you know who's not only had luck but has had pure dominating speed tonight? It's been Rogel Dorn. He will be 1.5 miles away from winning the second Crown Jewel race on the season.
1 lap to go for Rogel Dorn here at Charlotte in the Coca-Cola 600. Blaine Keys 2.5 seconds behind. Only 1 caution here tonight. A nice clean race, and it's fun when it plays out like this, even if a guy dominates like Rogel did. But these guys, they had it on lock. And Rogel Dorn is going to come out of turn number 4. Rogel Dorn has won the Coca-Cola 600 here in the Wawa Cup Series.
Well earned victory for Rogel Dorn. Great job from that 74 Hamill Racing Enterprises team. And you know what? Great one for everyone of keeping it clean after that first caution. A nice normal race finally here in the Wawa Cup Series. But still, it was a fantastic race. Something about Charlotte, it always produces some good racing, even when it was a little bit spread out because of Rogel Dorn and Blaine Keys. But what a race here for the 600 longest race of the season. And that's another team on a win with their Camel here. Great win from Rogel Dorn. The top 2 last year of the 600 flip-flopped, and Dorn gets the win. Keys in second.
How about that for Rogel Dorn there? Hamill Racing Enterprises. They get the job done in the Coke 600, and you know what, a nice, just normal race. You know, that was kind of rare to see. You know, after the excitement we had last week with the tire conservation, to see someone just go out and dominate and actually like capitalize on it. That's nice to see, and Rogel Dorn absolutely deserved that win. And Blaine, you know, you could tell just how close he was, but just not close enough there in that 41 machine. But still a solid run for Blaine. And Rogel Dorn, Blaine Keys, those are 2 guys up there. Nicholas Samadio as well got a top 10. He's going to move up in the points. Actually, he might not move up in the points, but he's going to move up in terms of points in comparison to the cutoff, at least. Another top 10 for Travis Crampton. I know you like to see that. But how about Laura Chung, Bernardi Oliveira, top 5 runs here in this Coke 600, and Josh freaking Petty, first Cup start, finishing 6th. I mean, I don't know sometimes. Those Sprint Series guys, they do, there's something else. There's something else sometimes. Take a look at the rest of the results right here, and only the 1 caution there with Andrew Miller, Bryce Egan, and LJ Sameto. And, of course, Thomas Truxell got caught up in that one. Trey Bartow got pinned there by Ludovic Charette near the end of that race, and he did it twice, so that did not work out well for him in this one here tonight. And Jesse Turner, early issue for him as well with Zachary Fitzwater. And then the rest of those guys just got lapped naturally, I believe. Daniel Paulus Jr. had a bad stop. I think he got boxed in. That was tough for him because he had a top 10 run going for him, and he's going to fall to 32nd, and Drew Webb's going to move back into the chase with that top 5 run. All right, Nathan, what a race here from Charlotte, and it's all down to tomorrow's race, the Indianapolis 250. How do you think it's going to play out tomorrow? I mean, it's going to be a huge race, as it always is. Who do you think is going to get it done in the Indy 250 tomorrow?
Oh boy, well first off, here tonight at Charlotte, just fantastic racing all night long. Charlotte definitely delivered once again here for the Wawa Cup Series. A lot of great drivers with some great ones, like Lord Chun of that 57, the 20, 47, 98 back-to-back top 10s. Josh Petty, first up in the Cup Series, I believe that's back-to-back weeks for a Sprint Series driver has gone a top 10. So, how about the Sprint Series drivers still getting it done here in the Cup Series? And Dorn with the win. Fantastic race. And as far as tomorrow for the ND250, who knows? That race is a wild card. Hopefully in this race that's a good one over there, when it's not really been a good one, period. But definitely gonna have to watch out for the other big names on the channel like Tom Strotzel, Sam Dio, Fitzy, Kingo, etc. Of course, that's a equal lane series, so anyone has a shot, and who knows, even maybe those Indy 250 drivers can have a shot. It's gonna be a great one, the biggest race on the channel, and this one led up to it, and tomorrow is the big one, and gonna look forward to it at my home racetrack of Indy, and let's bring it on. Let's do it.
Let's bring it on. Let's bring it on. I tell you what. I love this weekend so much, and you know what? It's the greatest day for racing on Sunday, but of course, like I said, also Memorial Day, and remembering those who gave their lives for this country as well, so that cannot be forgotten as well. But hey, you know what? We're thankful for all of that, and the opportunity to be here to run these races, and go to the real-life Indy 500 as well. Watch Kyle Larson in that one. I'm assuming he qualified. We're recording this race a couple weeks ahead, so, you know, assuming he qualified, you know. Hey, a couple of guys missed out on the Indy 250, of course, so we're just going to have to see how it all ends up going down. But we're so excited for this weekend, and, of course, for tomorrow's Indianapolis 250. A nice calm race here to lead us into what will probably be a crazy race tomorrow, as it always is for the 11th running of the Indianapolis 250. Can't believe it's the 11th time, but here we are. We're about ready to get to it for Indy 250 week to conclude here in 2024. What a race here at Charlotte, though. And hey, you know what? After all the crazy races we've had this season, Rogaldorn's thankful we had a nice normal one here, and he earned that one as well for his second win of the season. Rogaldorn gets it done here at Charlotte. We'll see what he does next Friday night at Gateway. That's going to be a fascinating race there. Only 60 laps there for the AAA Missouri 300. Yes, I know Gateway's in Illinois. It's AAA Missouri that sponsors the race because AAA Illinois does not exist. AAA Missouri is what services Southern Illinois, in case you ever wondered why that race was named the way it was. I know what I'm doing there. But hey, either way, we're excited for it. So next Friday night, May 31st, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on AG The Channel. And of course, tomorrow at noon, it's the big race, the Indianapolis 250 for 2024. Congratulations to Rogaldorn on his race victory here in the Coca-Cola 600. On behalf of Nathan Stapleton, thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I will see you guys later.